Truth is making a comeback. America's Top Stories with Lisa K. Donner.
Illegal immigration. Donald Trump, unlike most swamp critters, doesn't just see it as a talking point. The president has struggled since taking office to stem the flow of illegals pouring into the country. But Democrats and the leftist media have fought him every step of the way. They would have us believe the only crisis at the southern border is the one Trump made. Meanwhile, those who want the benefits of American life without the hassle of the legal route have devised a clever ploy for scamming their way into the country, and they're using children as their Get Into America free card. Joining me now today to discuss the horrifying practice of child recycling is Liberty Nation's national correspondent Joe Schaefer.
Hello, Lisa. Thanks for having me.
All right, so what is child recycling and why has it been so effective?
It's basically a toll card to get into our country. Our immigration policies have a loophole whereby if illegal aliens cross our border bringing a child with them, they know that in a few days the child is going to be released, and along with the child, usually the parents get released as well, and then they're basically dumped into our country and allowed to go their merry way. So based on this loophole, children have become a commodity. They can be used by anybody trying to sneak into our country. They can pretend that's their child, and it's their Get Into America card, basically.
Joe, is this a new phenomenon or has it been happening right under our noses all along?
It's been getting worse because of, in large part, because of the Democrats and the liberal media politicizing the issue of separating families, putting children in cages, all things that the Obama administration did as well. It was called just enforcing our border. But when Trump got elected, these players, anything they can use against President Trump. So they've demonized the one of the ways that we can secure our border. So what they have actually done is turned children, they've monetized children at the border. They've made the situation worse because children are now valuable. They're that card that gets you into America. So we're seeing more children coming in. A Republican congressional fact-finding mission was at the Arizona border last month, and they said that they were shocked that every single immigrant that had crossed the border and turned themselves in had a child with them, because again, they were counting on it. In a few days, the child gets released, the parents get released, and they go on their way into America. So this is a situation that's been made worse by attempts to demonize President Trump with enforcing the border.
So these children often don't belong with the adults they accompany. Is that what you're saying?
That was what was long suspected, and we've had that's been confirmed now. That's the big news now, that the U.S. Border Patrol found an instance, and it's been going on, but it's a confirmed instance of a child who had been recycled at least 2 or 3 times. So we know now for a fact that it's happening. It's been confirmed, and this is a way to game the system. There was an article today very similar about a major fraudulent marriage ring being broken up in the state of Texas. It was centered in Houston, but apparently it was all over Texas. So they use our marriage process, they use our child policy, anything they can use to get into the country. It really is asymmetrical warfare. And we have Democrats, we have liberal Republicans, we have the media not allowing us to defend our border, and we're just opening ourselves up to these kinds of abuses.
I'm interested. Where did they dig up these kids? I mean, where did they find them? And I'm wondering, do they do it with the parent's knowledge, or are they paying off the parent?
We're talking about poor, desperate people here from war-torn countries and whatnot. I can't speak to the exact circumstances, but there's plenty of ways to, you just buy it. The smugglers have money. They do these. They're in this. It's a business, and they'll gladly pay relatives for a child, and they'll use that child to enhance their ability to make a profit. So we're boosting the smugglers here. We're boosting the process. We're making it. We're giving them more incentive to exploit these children these ways. And unfortunately, yes, I'm sure there are relatives who allow their children to be treated this way because these people need money.
So the leftist media loves to report on child separation at the border, and they often attribute it to Donald Trump. Now it seems like Border Patrol is taking children away from kidnappers and human traffickers. Not necessarily just their parents. So where are all the corrections and apologies? You know, why haven't we seen this widely reported as kids in cages?
Well, I think you already know the answer to that, Lisa. Progressives, leftists, they never apologize. They just move on. They can be wrong 99 times out of 100, and they not even necessarily right that one time, but they can use that to just hammer on. And if they're wrong, they can always just drop it and move on to something else. So there's no accountability. The media, why isn't the media held accountable for this? They are not intentionally not reporting the full scope of a story. And we have a major humanitarian crisis on our border. I think more and more people are starting to wake up to that. I even think the 2020 Democratic presidential candidates know that if they try to come across as open borders, that it's a losing proposition. It's a nightmare down in our southern border now, and good luck to them if they want to keep defending this, because they are gonna be made to look worse and worse if this situation just continues to be exacerbated like this.
Well, this incessant virtue signaling by the media and the Democrats in large part continues, that the children are really Trump's fault and they're being separated from their parents, et cetera, et cetera. You tell a story in your article on Liberty Nation about a young boy who was asked about what happened to him, and he broke down in tears. Where is that on the CBS Evening News?
Yeah, you're not going to find it. Again, it's this cold, it's this callous. These people have an agenda, and they play up the individual human story when it serves their purposes, but they are more than happy to ignore the tears of a young child when it does not serve their political purposes. And we've seen this time and time again with other issues. So it really should call into account just how much do they care about these people that they cry their crocodile tears over. When the chips are down and when it affects their political ideology, they don't care about these children at all.
Well, I think this is an appalling practice, and I was so pleased that you wrote an article on this. Thank you so much for bringing this to light, and I hope more people and more media outlets will take up the mantle of these children and what's happening to them, because I really do think it's appalling.
Could not agree with you more. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Joe. That's Joe Schaefer joining us from the environs of Florida. I hope it's nice weather down there, Joe.
It's rainy as heck, but what can I do about it?
Yeah, same here in the swamp. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Truth is making a comeback. Visit us at libertynation.com.